I don't even know how to start. God, this movie was terrible. Okay. I saw the new live-action Lion King. I have been waiting for it to be able to use my passes on it, because usually when a big movie comes out, when you work for a movie theater, usually when a big movie comes out, and they expect it to be a big, huge blockbuster box office hit, usually for the first or week, or sometimes the second week, usually the movie is pass restricted, as in employees, and also like people with like certain passes that see movies for free. They can't use those the first week, or the first 2 weeks, depending on the film. For Lion King, it was actually 2 weeks. It took 2 weeks for it to be finally pass used. So I told myself, I was hearing a lot of mixed things from people, but a lot of the critics who I follow were saying that it was really bad. I told myself that I would check it out, but only after the passes were allowed, and so I didn't spend a single dime on the tickets. And that was a waste of the pass. It's a waste of an employee pass, honestly. Okay, here's the good news. I liked it a little tiny tad more than I was expecting to. And I didn't walk out of the film angry. I walked out of it depressed. Because, oh my god, the Lion King remake, it sucks. It's terrible. Like, honestly, this film left no impression on me. Nothing. I walked out of the theater liking nothing about it. There was nothing exceptional. Nothing. I walked out. If you walk out, people are just saying, well, it's just a remake. It's just soft facade. And you're like, nothing. It's just... If I walk out of a movie theater and I can't think of anything that I particularly liked, or something that I feel will stay with me, or something that would make me want to see it again, or part of it again, that's a big problem. Okay? This is probably Disney's worst remix, at least of the ones I have seen, because I can think of, in the other ones, I can think of maybe one or two major things that it does differently, or that it does different, that I like and stuff. And a lot of the Disney remakes, up to my point, the only one I've really would say I liked was the Jungle Book one. The other ones I just felt were or below that. This one I just feel is downright awful. It's just nothing. I can think of three things, and they're not major. I can think of three things that I liked about the movie. One was the CGI, in the sense of, yes, it looked real. The lions looked believable, pretty much. There were a few parts where they kind of looked not real, but for the most part, they looked like real lions and stuff, and the environments did look pretty real. It was impressive CGI, so impressive on the technical scale of CGI. Two, the cubs, little lion Simba cub and Nala cub, a few of their scenes, they were cute. Yeah, sure, it was cute. Doesn't mean anything for the film, but sure, that was cute. And three is that Timon and Pumbaa did get a few laughs out of me. Other than that, I can't think of anything else I like. Everything is for the worst. Nothing's better. There's literally nothing about this remake that's better, and the stuff that is different, there's a few scenes that are different. They don't really add anything at all. They could just cut them out. They don't add any character development. They don't add much of anything else. There's a few differences. But other than that, it's just nothing. It's all for the worst. Okay, the biggest problem with this remake is that it's not animated. The reason the original Lion King works for the most part is because the animation gives you the ability to do things live action can't. It gives you the ability to be over-exaggerated in your character's movements, and in your character's interactions, and in your character's emotions. That's one thing animation can do that live action really cannot do. That's an advantage of animation. And with The Lion King, the original, it works because you can draw emotions on the lions. And you can tell when they feel happy, when they feel sad, when they feel shock, when they feel anger, and all these different emotions. In this movie, you can't. Because when you think of a lion, when you think of a real lion, can you ever tell when what the lion is feeling based on the face it's making? No. No, you can't. And that's the thing here. It's like, I know what they're supposed to be feeling because I watched the original. I watched the original Lion King. But I don't see it in their faces. I can see it in the faces of the original. I can see when they're smiling, or when they're sad, or when they're angry, and anything like that. In this, I can't tell what they're feeling by their faces at all. It's only supposed to be what I interpret from the original. Oh, it's this scene, so he should be feeling sad, and he sounds sad, but he doesn't look sad. You know, and like, for example, in sad scenes, there's no crying at all. They don't shed a tear. There's no tear sharing, nothing like that. The acting is awful. Okay, the line delivery, a good amount of these are just so bad. They either don't fit the scene, or they just feel so overdramatic, and just nothing. I felt the acting sucked, especially from James Earl Jones, because James Earl Jones' performance in this is not as good as his performance in the original. Because one could be of his age, because it's been a while since the original Lion King was released. It's been like, over 20 years? 25 years? The other thing is that because of this, he's not able to emote as enough. The scenes on which, I remember James Earl Jones's stuff, like the scene when he's talking with Scar, it's not as emotional or as good as the one in the original, because his performance just is lacking. James Earl Jones' performance is lacking. And so is everyone's performance in this movie. Donald Glover played adult Simba. He, for the most part, was just but a good amount of his line deliveries too were just bad, really bad. There's the scene, the scene where Mufasa talks to him in the clouds and stuff, and then he makes the decision to go back. When Rafiki asks, "Who are you?" he says, "I am Simba, son of Mufasa." Just that over dramatic stuff. It's just like. And Rafiki is worse too. Rafiki, remember in the original how Rafiki is this likable, he's a baboon, right? Yeah. Likable baboon. He had such a upbeat personality. He had so much more character. You could tell emotions and stuff. He's less present in this movie, but not only that, he doesn't even crack a smile once. He has way less character in this movie. And has way less to say. He's like a words of wisdom for Simba. He has barely any words of wisdom at all for him. You know that line about, he says about, the past and how you can either run from it or learn from it? That's not in this new remake at all. That scene is entirely cut out. Rafiki does barely anything. He barely smiles. He's not even close to Rafiki in the original. The original is has this nice smile, this great laughter, this great personality. It makes you want to sit down and just talk with him and have a conversation and kind of deal. I get none of that from this new Rafiki. None of that. And all is played by Beyonce. And from what I've heard, is that Beyonce recorded the lines for this movie in her own home. And it shows. Because having the interactions there is just really, really bad a good amount of the time. The Scar's worse. What's his name? I can't pronounce his name. Cheerworth, Edgeworth, whatever. He wasn't as bad as I thought, but he's still not good. He's not a good choice for... Jeremy Irons brought so much to the character of Scar. And a lot of that is because of Jeremy Irons. They picked a good person to do it. And the other part of it is because Scar was animated and he had this unique look to him. He doesn't have that unique look to him in this one. He looks different. He's set apart. But not as good or as set apart as he was in the original. It just wasn't good. I just didn't feel him. It wasn't that at all. So, yeah, characters are worse in this overall. Timon and Pumbaa are the only ones who I felt like weren't that much detrimented by this live-action remake. Everyone else was, to me. Zazu as well. Oh my gosh, Zazu was a blank slate. I remember him way more in the original. I'm not going to remember a thing at all in this remake. You have your songs, but I don't give a movie points because, oh, it did the song like it did in the original. I don't give, unlike a lot of the general going audience members, I don't give points to a remake for doing something that was already done. Okay, the songs were already written. The songs were not written for this remake. The songs were already written. Okay? The songs were already written and had one new song by Beyonce because Beyonce is a musical artist and she wanted some profit off it, so she decided to take advantage of this. The songs in this is not sung as good as in the original, first off, and it's just the same songs. I don't get points for this movie doing everything the original did. Okay, that's the first thing. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna look. I want to see what the normal people say, what the critics say. The Lion King. Let's see this garbage. Okay, I can't believe this. There's a 53% tomato score and an 88% audience score. Most of you think this movie's good? Are you guys okay? Are you serious? 5-star. Cried all the way through. Amazing visual and audio. They did a good job. Okay, amazing visuals and audios. That's the only thing you can say that's good? What about the rest of it? Everything else about the movie besides the audio, besides the visuals and audio. You know, the technicalities. Yeah, the technicalities are good because it's a technical achievement. What about the rest of it? What about the characters? What about the story? What about the acting? What about all the rest of it? This version of the Lion King remake is probably one of the stronger Disney remakes that have recently been shown. The CGI visually was amazing. It really felt like you were watching a documentary. Yeah, that's the problem. You're not watching a documentary. If this, you know what this would have been great for, is this technical achievement in CGI with these animals, is if National Geographic released a documentary about lions, and it was revealed that it was all CGI. That would have been a great way to show the technical achievement, right? But that doesn't work. Yeah, it feels like a documentary. Because it's with real lions. And it feels like these little children are talking over them, like they're the narrators for this documentary. Because of all the songs, and because of the big battle at the end, it was the best ever. I enjoyed. And this is a verified review. Because of all the songs and because of the big battle at the end, it was the best ever and I enjoyed it. Okay, let me explain to those of you something here. If you want to see the songs you love from the original, and the scenes you love from the original, and the battle that you love from the original, there's something called a Blu-ray. It's a little hard to grasp, I know, but basically a Blu-ray is something you can get at pretty much any frickin' store in existence. Walmart, Target, Best Buy, any store almost carries a Blu-rays of stuff. Especially for Lion King right now because it's popular. And you can get the original Blu-ray, like so, and you can take the disc, this thing called a disc here, and you put it into something called a Blu-ray player. And when you put it in the Blu-ray player, guess what? It plays the original movie. So how about instead of seeing the remake, how about you instead go and watch the original? Huh? I just don't get it. For those of you who love and cherish this original and want to see and want to relive it, how about you just watch the original instead of the remake? Okay? If you want to relive everything about it, watch the original. That's what you want, isn't it? This little thing? Just nothing about this movie is better. Nothing. It sucks. Everything sucks. There is so many scenes that made me facepalm. You remember the scene of when Simba's hair is floating out and then gets Rafiki's attention. He finds out Simba's alive. They focus like a good 2 to 3 minutes on that hair, and one of those scenes is a giraffe accidentally eats the hair because it lands on a tree branch and the giraffe is eating the leaves, and then the giraffe poops it out, and you're seeing the beetle roll the ball of poop with the hair in it. I'm being dead serious. That's in the frickin' movie. I was facepalming at that part. I was like, holy cow, really? I don't get why that... Whose idea was it to do that? This movie has a great moral to it. Yeah, and this is verified. You think moral? Okay, yeah, so does the original. The original has also a great moral. You can just watch the original for the moral. I'm just depressed. I didn't like this movie at all. I walked out of the theater with no impression. It left no impression on me. Okay? If I walk out of a theater and there is nothing about it, if I can think of 3 things, which was that the cubs are cute, the CGI, was a technical achievement and it is impressive, and Timon and Pumbaa got me a few laughs. If those are the only things that I liked and the rest of it I can totally forget or don't like, that's a failure. That's a failure. Why do you keep going to see these movies instead of stuff that's new? Like, I understand the way it works, and it's just a great sales tactic. Like, on a sale tactic level, yeah, this is a great business deal. Making a remake of something that is loved by everyone and know it's going to be seen because it has that name on it. Why do you people think this remake's good? Is it because it has the name Lion King on it? You associate, oh, it's the Lion King. It has the word Lion King on it, therefore it's a great film. I don't know what to say, honestly. I'm just bummed out. I'm just upset at all of this. I loved how real it looked and that it kept the original songs in it. Yeah, guess what? Just watch the original. Again. Yeah, it looked real. So? Does that make the movie good? And that they keep the original songs in it? Of course they're going to keep the original songs in it. Because if they didn't, you would be upset. I just don't get, why do you audiences want to see the exact same movie? Like, my thing is, if you're gonna make a remake of a classic, why not do something different with it? And, like, much different. In the sense, not besides the medium, not the fact that this is like a CGI movie versus the animated. Like, change the story up, change maybe the plot devices up, a bit like that. Because if I want the exact same movie, I'll just rewatch the exact same movie. Why do you guys, why do you general audience members praise the movie for doing the exact same thing the original did? So a few things to leave y'all before I go. Number 1, if you paid a ticket for this movie opening weekend, fuck you. Seriously, stop it. And that leads to number 2, stop seeing these live-action remakes. All this does is just propel mediocrity in film. It just propels this mediocre way of filmmaking where they're just going to keep giving you remake, and you're just going to keep eating it up, and you're not asking for anything new. You're just like, oh, it did everything the original did, therefore it's a 10 out of 10. It doesn't matter in any way, does it? You guys are, the general movie-going audience is still going to go see all these live-action remakes and stuff, and all of this stuff, and none of it is going to be good. Y'all are just going to go pay for it, and it's going to make millions and stuff. You're just going to go see it, and because it has the name on it, and just... That's it. That's it for me. I've got nothing else to say. It's not good. If you haven't seen it yet, don't go watch it, okay? If you want to relive The Lion King, watch the original, okay? Don't go see the remake, okay? It's not good. It's not good. Okay? Just watch this. I'll probably make a more detailed review in the future of this when I put more of my thoughts together, but this right now is just a rant video. That's all I gotta say.